Whoop. You know what you're watching. Let's go. Hey, hold up. What's up? I ain't gonna do too much. Let's go. Hold up. Skirt. Hey, you know what you're watching. It's Hats Off with your boy G-Jones. Oh, I get the keys from the Gatekeepers and talk change with the change makers. Talk flavor with the Tastemakers. Yes. Today, you are in for a treat. By the way, that was the Dark Hill Collective, Dark Prince. That song is called Space. Yeah, you will see them live at the Queen next Saturday. Yep, with Full Carpet Get Up and the whole just setting the stage on fire. Salute to my man Dark Prince and the Dark Hill Collective. Again, they will be on fire at the Queen next week. That song Space is on all your streaming platforms. Now, okay, my guest today. Woo! When I tell you, this gentleman, okay, for lack of a better way to word it, champion for local artists. Champion. Okay. Delaware Delaware Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah, he's in there. Okay, you know what I mean? I can't control it. That man, he is there. Also, but I'm not done. Hometown Heroes. Yes. What? Yeah, I'm not done. It's not my fault I'm not done. You know, the Homey Awards. Say what? I said see? I don't know what happens. When I say the Homey Awards, he pops up on screen. You see what I'm saying? It's actually a magical thing. I have nothing to do with that, okay? But anytime we're talking about champion local music, local artists, 20 years on the radio, 20 years created his own awards, right? His own awards. What? Yeah. This is how people learn about Brother Mark C. Rogers. Good day, good sir. How are you today?
Hello, sir. I'm well. How are you?
Another day in paradise.
Well, you summoned me and I appeared.
Yes. Listen, I can't help it. Okay. Clearly, it's magical. Okay.
I believe you're right. Yes.
With that said, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
About myself, let's see. Well, I'm a fabulous dancer. Well, no, maybe not. Let's see. I love music. You might have guessed that. I love burritos, baseball, cats. I live with 4 cats actually, and a roommate. And I drive a Jeep. How's that?
Yes. Why? Wait. So, what makes you a cat person?
Well, I mean, I like dogs too. Don't get me wrong, but cats are much easier to deal with, and you don't have to take them for walks and bathe them and stuff. They're more self-reliant, and they're adorable.
They are more self-reliant. I dig it. All right, now you have been championing local artists for 2 decades, right?
Hard to believe, but yes, that is true.
Take me back into the beginning. How did you get into this world of that?
You almost by chance. I mean, the show existed before I hosted it. A fellow DJ at WSTW, his name is Johnny B. Well, his name still is Johnny B, but he started the show, and he hosted it for years, but then he moved away. He moved to Texas, and I wasn't working at the radio station at that time. And I talked to my friend Steve, and I said, "What are they going to do with Hometown Heroes now that Johnny's gone?" And Steve said, "You should host it." I was like. So I talked to the program director, and he liked the idea, and bada bing, bada boom, the rest is history. I've been doing it for 20 years now. I never dreamed I'd be doing it for 20 years, and didn't know it would become such a big part of my life, a passion, if you will. Yeah.
Wow. So how did you get into radio?
I had worked at WSW previously. I went to Temple for broadcast radio, TV, film. And while I was doing there, I got an internship at the radio station, and I kept going there until they hired me.
Wow.
I just kind of did what was needed and all different positions. And I was the morning show producer for a while. I scheduled commercials. I did promotions and stuff like that. So all sorts of things over the years.
So you already knew you wanted to be in radio since you were young?
Since I was not young, I figured it out probably in my 20s or so, thereabouts. Yeah, I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up for a long time.
So how did you get the radio bug?
I think I watched WKRP in Cincinnati too much or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. Like I said, I love music. I've always loved music, so I think that was part of it. And there was some kind of appeal to it. I can't really explain what, but yeah, just wanted to give it a try, and here I am.
So hometown Heroes, was that your first radio show?
I had done a couple things before that. Like I'd done a Saturday night show with my friend Phil. We did a show. Played a lot of the '80s requests and stuff like that. And I'd been producer of the morning show for a while, so it wasn't my show, but I was on the air with it. So I had some experience. Yeah.
So now, okay. So then you jump into, what was it like? And you jump into something that was already had been running for 10 years before you got there. It already had its own flavor, if you will, of champion local artist, champion unsigned hype, if you will, before you got there. What was it like trying to step into such big shoes at that point?
It was actually, it was pretty easy. I don't mean that as disrespect to Johnny. He did a great job hosting it, but the musicians were all very accepting because they were all afraid that when he left the station, the show was going to go away too. So they petitioned the radio station, like, please don't get rid of the show. So they were happy that someone was still hosting it. So yeah, to a person, they were great to deal with, all the musicians, and that's 20 years ago. There's been a lot more musicians since then too. So
absolutely. So how has it evolved over the last two decades?
Well, that is one way. Like when I first started hosting it, there was a lot fewer artists. I might play a band 1 week and then play them again 2 weeks later. Then I played them more often because there wasn't as many musicians and songs to choose from. But now I might play an artist once and I might not get the chance to play them again for months and months, just because there's so many other artists vying, because I only have 2 hours a week to fill, and only so much time and a lot of music. I guess it's because I've wondered what the reasons are. Like, maybe is it American Idol and things like that, or is it like it might have even started like with like the Rock Band and those type of games. Like, people became more used to being musicians or the idea of being a musician. I don't know. And plus, now people can make quality recordings at home using software, which 20 years ago we were on the verge of that. But now it's much easier to do.
That makes perfect sense to me. Between those things, you also have people who learn a craft on YouTube and is more likely to go in and just make a thing.
That is true.
Yeah, before they didn't. Now, has your personal taste in what you like changed over that time?
I don't think. I've always had pretty broad, pretty eclectic taste. There's not a lot of stuff I don't like. I don't love everything, but by and large, I'm a big fan of a lot of it. So that stayed pretty much the same. Like, I've always had a broad taste in music, and now that I know a lot of these musicians, that it kind of makes me like it even more. Because once if you know the musician, you kind of I think it increases your appreciation of their music, of their craft.
Absolutely. So even in that world, right? So simultaneously, you start an award show, right? It pretty much happens back to back. What was the thought process behind saying, I'm gonna start my own award show? Screw it, because there wasn't one.
I did it on a whim because I guess it was the Grammys were coming up. They were going to be on a Sunday night, and I was a little annoyed that I couldn't be home to watch the Grammy Awards because I was on the radio. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to start my own award show. And I'll call it the Homey Awards. Yeah, that's the ticket. And so the first couple of years I did it. It was just very off the cuff, kind of silly. Like, there was kind of like one of the categories was best hat, believe it or not. And but then gradually over the years it became legit. Like, the silly categories went away and the more serious ones came in. it became a thing.
Okay, back up. So how did it become real? Like, what was there a moment? Was there just like how did you know that, oh, this is really going to be a thing?
I guess the response, because I mean, the first year it was like done very much last minute. The second year, the more thought and time went into it, and then by the third year, I mean, the response. I mean, people were excited about it. People wanted to be part of it. They wanted to get their music considered, be nominees, be winners, and yeah, and then just every year the interest grew. More people heard of it, and it just kind of snowballed.
Yes, yes.
And then it became like I used to just read off the winners in the studio on a Sunday night. Then it became a real awards show. I guess I forget. Probably I don't know. I forget how many years, but maybe after 7-8 years, I forget. But when then it started, it became a real, physical, tangible awards show with Dash US. Then that's where it's been ever since. And
Okay. So you didn't. So it took. I love that, by the way. So it took 7-8 years of running in giving people awards before you actually had a venue, before they were actually in front of you, before they were actually before it was a whole event, right? So when that changeover happened, like, how did that happen? Did you? Because I'm sure you needed a team at that point. Like, now it's bigger than you.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, it started out originally. The company doesn't exist anymore, but Gable Music Ventures, they used to, up until last year when Gail retired, I mean, they did a lot of shows around the Wilmington area, and they partnered up with them. If it wasn't for them putting the show together, it wouldn't have happened because I did not have the wherewithal to do that all on my own. And folks from the radio station helped as well. And then as the years progressed, eventually it ended up at Delaware Public Media, where it is now. I mean, they've gotten on board like 100% with the award show, to the extent that we're already working on next year's show, like almost a year in advance, which is something. I mean, I don't do anything a year in advance in my life. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. So.
Okay. Was there ever any politics to deal with? Like, I mean, A, you got Gable involved. B, musicians can be competitive. Right now, you get a moment of them acting like it. So, like people are ever funny acting about it, or
I mean, maybe here and there a couple, but by and large, if you talk to anyone who's ever been to the Homey Awards, it's a feeling of community. It's hard to describe it. I mean, we didn't plan it that way, but you get all these musicians in the room together. And everybody wants to win, sure, but people are there. They're very supportive of each other and applaud each other when they win. I mean, and when at the end of the night, people always just say it was a great sense of community, just hanging out with other musicians, music fans, family. So the competitiveness. Every once in a while, you get an artist who complains about something or is or upset about something, but that's not the average. That's not the norm.
Right. Okay. So like now you're running this show. You've been doing Hometown Heroes for probably about 15 years, and you got the Homey Awards. You up. Life is good. Now COVID happens. We're in the middle of a world that is transition. All of a sudden, you go from WSTW to I think we're gonna go in a different direction. How did you deal with that? What was that like?
Well, I mean, it certainly changed. I mean, COVID wasn't what killed it at STW. I mean, a new company bought the radio station, and they weren't interested in the show, and understandably, a top 40 radio station having a show like Hometown Heroes for as long as it did is pretty amazing. It's not a top 40 show, Right. But almost as soon as the new owners canceled the show, Delaware Public Media picked it up because Pete Booker, who was the general manager at Delaware Public Media, used to be the general manager at WSTW and that whole company. And then also Greg Bolden, who works at the school where we were broadcasting from for several years, he was a musician, he was a fan of the show, so the two of them, like, almost immediately worked to scoop up Hometown Heroes. So it had a home almost immediately, even though we were off the air for about 6 months thanks to COVID. But other than that, I mean, it was an amazing transition.
Wow. Okay, now even in that world, right? So you're going from one thing to the next, and for you that was that was an easy transition. But now, mind you, at this point it's been 20 years, and I'm actually curious. Through all that, you're really, really consistent. What keeps you going, or kept you going through all the changes, through like the days when you don't feel like it, right? Through life getting in the way, you be like, I'm good. Like, what makes you get up and continue to be like, no, we gotta do this for these artists, and we gotta still put up.
That's an easy. I mean, you just touched on it there. It's the people. I mean, all the artists and musicians that I've gotten to know over the past 20 years, which I couldn't even begin to count. I mean, they, to a person, like, you know, they're very thankful, they're very humble, they're grateful for what Hometown Heroes provides, and you know, I mean, I don't know how many times they thank me for what I do, and it's like I'm not in this for the thank, but it's like it means a lot, and you know, just to think that this little program that I put on actually affects people and that it encourages them, you know, and yeah, they're great people, so. That's what it is by far. That's the number one reason is the people, the musicians.
Now, the other side of that to me, right? You do these things, and then you set it up to give recognition, and then you receive recognition with the Delaware Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That was a surprise, yeah.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, I mean, the folks that put that on. I mean, they're such a nice couple, and you know, they contacted me to let me know that this was happening. I was like, wow. I mean, yeah, I'm not in it for awards or anything, but I mean, it was an amazing event and super nice, and yeah, I'm very grateful to them for doing that. Yeah, I mean, I find it a little embarrassing to be the center of attention, I guess, but again. They're doing a great thing over there, and very, very grateful. I guess I don't know. I mean, I could have brought my little award with me, but I didn't think of that. But it's somewhere upstairs right now. But yeah.
Okay. Now I think that's interesting because I actually understand it, but I want you to explain it if you can. You said because you do a radio show very consistently. You have an award show where you host and present. But you feel embarrassed being the center of attention, getting the award that says, hey, we recognize that you did these things. Like, how does that work? Or like, how is it different for you than when you're doing what you do?
That's a good question. Boy, I'm not sure how to answer that. I guess I want the attention to be on the musicians, you know, because they're the ones that are making the music. They're the heroes in this, you know. But I mean, but again, yeah, when something like this happens, like the Hall of Fame induction, like I am very grateful for that, and it is nice to be appreciated, certainly, you know, especially when it's something that you do week after week, year after year. But I guess I'm at a loss for words, but I don't want it to be about me. I'm the facilitator, you know. I want the attention to be on the musicians.
Absolutely. I trust me. I actually understand because I think that there's a difference. I think it gets seen as the same thing, but I think there's a difference when you're the person who's introducing another act or you're with somebody else and you're just, because I host a lot, so you get a lot of spaces where it's just, hey, it's not about me. You know what I'm saying? It's about the best, as I like to call it, the best art exhibit possible. So like hearing you say that, I'm like, yes, I understand that, but a lot of people would look at it in a different way, and it's like, those are different things. Now, okay, so now, the Homey Awards, right? It went from fun, light, to now it's a production, right? This is a real thing. How does it feel to watch it evolve into such a big deal?
Again, it is amazing because I hadn't planned for this to happen. It just kind of evolved that way. I mean, but as much work as goes into it each year, the actual day of the event, and it goes by so quickly. Of course, it's a 2 to 3 hour event, maybe start to finish, but it's like it zooms by. But and in the whirlwind afterwards, I always have to kind of process it because, well, first of all, I'm not a terribly emotional person. I don't tend to wear my feelings on my sleeve, but it's like, I mean, it means a lot to me that I was able to be used in this way to help facilitate community with the musicians, and if in any way I was able to, like I said, shine the light on musicians that deserve it, give someone airplay when they never had it before, any of these things. I don't know if I strayed from your question here or not. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay.
And one of the things that I've noticed, at least in the story, between, again, Gail with Gable Music, and she's been on my show before, and your relationship with Delaware Public Media, and your journey with the artists, and all of these things, even to the point at which how you first started the show, a lot of it is relationship based, right?
Yes.
How important would you say are some of the relationships, and what is it like for you to have to foster such, substantial relationships with people?
I mean, it's clearly relationship based. I mean, the fact that so many of these musicians have become my friends, they're not just musicians, but I mean, that's a real thing, They're people that I love. I mean, and there's something bonding about when I have a musician on the show with me. We spend 2 hours talking, getting to know each other, bantering, having fun on and off the air, and it's like it really is a bonding experience. Like I feel very close to a lot of these musicians, so it clearly is relationship based. But I love music too, of course. So don't get me wrong, that's in the mix. But I can't separate them. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so now with that said, because Hometown Heroes, the Homey Awards is listener based, right? It's viewership based. Like people go online and they vote for the winner.
Part of it. The first round is like the first round. It's up to the musicians. Like if they want to be eligible for a Homey Award that year, like if they release something and they want it to be eligible, like for their album, their song, whatever, they need to spend a couple of weeks where they essentially put themselves in the running. So we end up with a big list of songs and categories and everything. The first round is the popular vote. The listeners, the fans, the friends, the grandparents, whatever, they vote for all the categories. And that gets us down to the top 5 in each category, and they become the final nominees. And then the nominees are voted on by the Homey voting panel, which is comprised of past Homey winners, people in the industry, like people in the media, stuff like that. So they're the ones that do the final votes.
Are you ever surprised by the winners?
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's surprises and there's clear winners. I mean, there's some that I'm not at all surprised by, and there's some that I am surprised by, pleasantly or unpleasantly, or not unpleasant. That sounds too negative, but I mean, there's ones that I'm surprised that beat other artists sometimes, but that shows you just never know.
Absolutely. I think so right now in my brain, when I look at what you do overall, and I look at, I wanted to talk to you because just how much I love local music, and I love putting on for independent artists, and I try to put out, and I put out a playlist every year of just independent artists in different realms to try to get those exposures. And between the Ty Mathisons, the Shook Daniels, the Dustin Minucci's, the whole world of them, right? And like I see a co-show, right? And now salute to Darnell Miller with MD Planet, right? Because it's not, the world will act like it doesn't like new music, right? Or the world will act like it, but really they just haven't heard it. You know what I'm saying?
True.
That's what I find happens. What keeps you interested in looking for new music and listening? Because like I said, I personally believe once people hit that 35-year-old, 40-year, that 35, 40 year, they just be like, I like what I like, and they stop listening for new, right?
Yeah, that is true of many people. But then there are plenty of others that love music discovery, and that is one of the things. I love being able to expose people to music. You know, whether it's through Hometown Heroes or even like back when I used to DJ weddings and stuff. Like, love when I put a song out there and someone would come and ask me about it. And same thing, like if I play a song on the radio, someone asks me about it. You know, the fact that making a connection is cool.
Okay, I get it. I think to me, there's something to be said about that influence, because I don't think, like, radio doesn't break music anymore, right? DJs don't break music anymore. It's a little bit harder for artists to break through in the TikTok era of that, which while it's easier to put music out, it's harder to break music through.
There's a lot more competitive, I would say. Yeah.
Yes, and I think that's one of the interesting things about what you do, because just because I watched the reactions of it and how it plays out, you know it. You put out the list of the nominees, and then you see people start to go, right? And now they're listening to artists that they never listened to before, right? And that's outside of just listening to your show, but now they're going to go and they're going to like look at this name and be like, oh, well, who is that? Who is La Casa Day? Let me see, right? And they'll dive into a catalog, and now you done broke an artist.
Again, that's amazing. I mean, I've had artists tell me that, like, that a nomination or even a win has caused their Spotify listens to go up, or caused someone to come see their show, or buy an album or whatever. So that is even more amazing when you see these specific, tangible things that have happened like that. And by the way, shout out to all those ones that you mentioned, the Co Show, Darnell, and all the others that are doing great work out there.
Yeah. Listen, it inspires me. Like again, I aspire to try to put, I do a show live. I host a pre-show live at the Urban Artists Exchange every Wednesday, and I try to introduce that crowd to a different independent act or local act every time, just to try to act like to put them in front of people who they may not have heard yet. Right. And it's so gratifying to be like, oh wait, yeah, you done made a fan, right? It's a thing when people make to help an artist make a fan. It just feels different.
I agree completely. Yes.
So now, 20 years Homey Awards, 20 years Hometown Heroes. What's the vision forward for these things?
That's a good question. I mean, well, like I said, we are already planning next year's. I mean, we would love to take the event and make it bigger. What that looks like, hard to say at this point. I mean, doing it at the Queen is great because they have a great facility. Whether we stay upstairs, whether we move back to the big room downstairs, would love to, like, it used to be a little more, the first few years we did it in person, it was a little more like black tie sort of thing, which is kind of cool. I'd like to get it back to that just because it's fun to do every so often.
Yeah.
So the vision beyond that, I don't know any other specifics to say, but we'd like to keep it going. I'm not sure.
I get that. I can even get the black tie affair of this is a special night. Let's treat this like a special moment. Let's get dolled up. Especially because some of these artists we don't see dolled up like that. So I definitely see how that hits. Awesome. Okay. Now, with that said, do you have? And I'll start with Hometown Heroes. When you look back in the history, do you have any moments that stick out as like your favorite moments?
Favorite moments. Some of the coolest things were having musicians in the studio with me that I had listened to for years. Like I've had two of the Hooters on with me at different times. Never the whole band, but I've had two of them on with me just for their solo pursuits. Richard Bush, who used to be with the A's, now is with the Peace Creeps. It was great having him on, and he performed solo, which is something he never does, like just the solo acoustic. Jeffrey Gaines, another one, had him on, and had been listening to him for years. So I think those are probably kind of the most exciting times that I've had. And then, I mean, obviously hosting the awards every year is great. Favorite moment. Yeah, I can't think of a specific famous or favorite moment beyond those, but there's been. It's a cop out to say, oh, every week's a favorite week. But there are a lot of favorite moments. Yeah, those ones that come to mind though.
And I don't want to detour, but I have to ask this in that same world, at least. I just realized, so 20 years of local and independent artists, and 20 years ago, we were at technically birth of streaming. Like it wasn't here, right?
Yeah.
So how you discovered music, new artists then, is completely different than how you discovered new artists now, or not completely, but somewhat. How has that changed?
Well, I mean, the majority of the new artists that I play are proactive. They usually send me their music, so I don't have to go looking for it a whole lot. I do sometimes, but I don't have to go like you know searching through the wilds of the streaming platforms to find it. Usually they find me, but if I do go looking for it, I use the streaming service. Like I use Spotify as a resource. Like I want to see like more like oh, when did this, like what's their newest album, or when was this released, things like that. I don't use it personally a whole lot. I like Bandcamp. I use Bandcamp. I really like that an artist can put their own page on there, sell their music on there. I'm a big fan of buying music. But like personally, I think streaming has a place. It exposes the music to people, but if you like the music, I wish people would buy the music.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the to me. I look at it as streaming is the new, just in my brain, of a business model. Streaming is where you put your singles, right? Because in some ways it plays the same space as radio. So if that's the case, you put your singles there to garner the attention, and then direct to consumer can sell the album like you would sell the album, right? I don't think that most artists have caught up to that thought of a business model, so they rely heavily on something that's $9.99 for everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know that artists. Some artists are very like I've talked about it with them on and off the air, and some artists are cool like with whatever. Like, hey, as long as people hearing the music, that they're just fine with them. But then there's others that they're realistic. Like, well, there is money involved in recording music, and I mean, most of the time that comes out of the artist's own pockets.
Yes.
So, but if they can recoup some of that through selling albums, selling merchandise, selling tickets, then obviously that's a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. And I've seen it. I've had the conversations with, on one hand, I've talked to like a Jay Street, and I've had him on here, and we talked about it. And for him, it was like, I can make this music, but how much time and money I'm about to invest in this career? Right. It ain't going, if I'm getting 0.00000, right? And then versus you have a Suge Daniels who'll say, all right, look, I'm gonna go direct to consumer, and I'll be out at. I'm gonna go in and so hard that way to make it pay off and find different lanes. Because it is difficult for the independent artists to try to find the best way for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and Suge is tireless. I mean, she is amazing. I think she knows everyone in the region, but not everyone has the same drive. Not everyone has the same goals. And just I guess different personality types, different skills, and not everyone's comfortable promoting themselves either.
Absolutely, because it went from a world where an artist was an artist, so and they might be able to do things, but now if you ain't got no team, you got to wear all the hats, as I said.
Yeah. Hats off.
All right, now the other world of favorites that I want to ask you: do you have any moments that stick out, and maybe not whether it's favorite or not, but that stick out in your head of the Homey Awards?
I mean, I guess when you see like an authentic moment, like someone accepting an award, like I know that these past couple of years, there's been several occasions where like the artist accepting the award like just got emotional because for whatever reason, like just really moved them or touched them. I guess those are some of the favorite moments. Just seeing would it really move someone and it means something to them.
Absolutely, absolutely. To me, that fits because, as you know, a lot of times an artist, and even like from your position, you can be you and not realize the recognition. Like people, you don't know that. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, wow, this kind of changed in a different world. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. So okay, now, I asked all my guests this question, and about to do that. Before I even go there.
Okay.
Ooh. When you look at a world where there aren't a lot of Delaware awards that go to honorees that go to musicians, go to musical arts, that don't exist still, right? Like in theory, you're kind of a pioneer to a thing, okay? And we're a copycat league around here, but they haven't been able to quite duplicate, like it hasn't been able to do a thing. How do you feel about like that and kind of the recognition of it, or should I say it's standing alone in its own pillar?
At the award show, you mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Boy, that's a good question. I mean, there are. I mean, like Delaware today has the Best of Delaware awards, but that's for many categories, not just music. Boy, I mean, I guess there could be room for it if someone really wanted to do it, because like, in the mainstream you have the Grammys and you have the American Music Awards. They coexist peacefully. So I mean, if someone really wanted to do it, I don't think I would be upset about it. But I mean, I guess it goes to what I said before. I mean, if the fact that this award show has made a difference in people's lives or careers or pursuits, then again, the people are what keep me doing it. I hate to repeat myself, but it seems like, I guess it kind of goes, I think it goes to what you were saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Now this is the question I ask all my guests, and I'm just curious kind of where you take it with this. If you could give advice to your younger self, but the year is 2026 and all of the 2026 things, what advice would you give a younger you?
When you have ideas, try them. Not quite like, I don't mean it to sound like the thing that people always say at the Oscars, like follow your dreams. But I mean, a little more tangibly than that, I guess. Like if you have a dream if you have an idea but maybe you could do this or maybe do that. Do it close to the time you get the idea, because if you wait, guess what? You're getting older. You're not getting any more energy than you have already. Like pursue the ideas when you have the time and the opportunity and the passion and the energy. Because if you put them off, then they kind of fall by the wayside a lot of times. Because when you get to be my age, Sonny, you don't have a lot of energy. So yeah.
Listen, I appreciate that. I think that there is a younger you that needs that. I take that heavily, because I think that in life we live in a world where it's a balance between intelligence or knowledge of the thing and energy to do it, right? So some people get so lost in planning that they lose the energy to do it, right? One weighs out the other, or they feel like, I don't have enough planning, got all the energy in the world, but I don't got enough planning. And we get in our own way trying to find balance between the intelligence of it and the energy of it. So I think
this is true. Or sometimes you can find someone to partner up with on some of these ideas too. So then, obviously working together with people makes any job easier usually. But yeah.
Yep. There we go back to that network.
Yep. Oh yes. It comes down to that for many things. Yes.
Yes. Oh man. All right. Well, this has been an amazing conversation. I appreciate you for all of the gems you gave me and the people.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I tell people, if you give me a word, I give you a poem. Now, while you think of a word, I like to do what I call a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. I said a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. This is when I tip my hat to some awesome people or some awesome things that have been happening that I would like to salute. So first and foremost, I'm going to go with my first hat tip. Blip, blip. I'm gonna go with a quick hat tip to my man D Spence. D Spence does poetry at the Nomad. See, we didn't have a show last week. Last week there was poetry at the Nomad, and there was a bunch of amazing poets live and direct at that Nomad venue. So hat tip to him, hat tip to the Nomad. It was the First Amendment edition, right before the fourth. People were saying some things, the words was coming together. So I have to give the hat tip to that because that was an awesome affair. Also, while I'm in the process of giving a quick hat tip, blip, blip, gotta give a quick hat tip. Also, too, City Fest and the City Fest, Tish Williams, Tina Best, Jonathan Whitney, that whole world this week. Oh man, Vertical Current, live and direct on that stage, tore that stage down on Wednesday. It was an amazing concert series, and I had the bless also getting that same hat tip, blip to the Delaware Children's Choir School, along with the young singer Gigi, whose voice was immaculate on that stage. Listen, I was happy to be able to present her. And also have Darnell Miller help introduce the band. So that just hat tip to all parties involved with that, because that was awesome. Also, quick hat tip, blip, to Delaware Music Network. Yes, the Delaware Music Network open mic was on the same first Wednesday of the month. That was also awesome as well. It just felt good to see some of the local artists. Yeah, H-Fam, a lot of youth on that stage. Just doing great things, making things happen. Also, one more hat tip, absolutely. Blip. I'm going with a hat tip to, because I didn't do a show. The Poets Almanac, the Twin Poets were live at the Wilmington North Library. Dr. Tracy Curry as well. All the poets involved with that. It was a heavy poetry moment actually. In the Wilmington North Library. So that was awesome, all amazing as well. With that said, is there anybody you would like to give a quick hat tip to?
Oh, my. We've already talked about so many. I mean, Wilmington and Delaware in general, full of so many people that are working together for the arts, for community. I mean, hat tip. Mine doesn't blip like yours does. I don't know. And Jenny Schick, who's been doing the Women's Music Collective up on 202, blank on the name. Melissa Forsyth and her crew, they do so much stuff, putting together festivals, promoting things. So many other people that I'm sure I'm forgetting, but those are a couple of hat tips off the top of my head.
Absolutely. Now, and with that said, just so everybody knows, while we have tipping and shouting out things, I want people to know every Wednesday that City Fest concert goes on at the Urban Arts Exchange. I do host that pre-show, so 6:30. I will have another youth next week, and the band is going to be Harvey Road. They're going to take that stage. Yeah, there's my man. There's some. They're going to do phenomenal. I've had Harv on the show a couple times, so. And I perform with them, so they're going to take the stage. I'm gonna have another youth with me as the opener. That's going to be 6:30 live at the Urban Artists Exchange. I'm announcing this here as well. I'm doing a what's it called? I'm doing a talent development, artist development series. Every week is going to be starting August 18th. At the Urban Artists Exchange as well. Will be pretty much every week. We'll have a different speaker talking about everything from stage bookings, I'm aiming at that to be with Jonathan Whitney and Naja Nicole, and music production with PC Beats, and I'm just going to have each week, social media, somebody will be covering that as well. So each week I'm going to have somebody else from this industry kind of giving the gems on how that works. Listen, brother Joe Bellardo, yes, he will also be a part of that series. So that will be starting August 18th as well, pretty much not too far after the Jazz Festival. So listen, trying to do some things to move the needle. And everybody should know the Art Loop is tomorrow night. Yes. Art Loop is tomorrow night. Go ahead out, see some art. And enjoy yourself. With that said, is there anybody you would like to give a hat tip to? Or, not a hat tip to. Is there any events you would like to mention or tell people that's coming up?
Yeah, the Shady Grove Music Festival, I believe, is coming up on Saturday, I think. That's in Arden, rather.
Mm-hmm.
I keep a list going at hometownheroesmusic.com of upcoming concerts, so you can look there, and there's always a lot of stuff going on.
Yes,
So,
yes. I'm here for it. With that said, as I told you before, I tell people, if you give me a word, I give you a poem. You have a word for me, good bro?
Cookie.
Cookie. Okay. I'm thinking. How about I start off with facing facts? Like when we come in, I need to sit back so I can receive a variety pack. Not because they're all for me, but I need the pack so I can spread. I need us all to eat. See, I want some that are semi-sweet. I need also a sugar cookie. I even need a snicker doodle so it can give you everything that you need. And I need it to make you move at a different speed. I need every time you take a bite and when you eat, you can feel the rhythm and feel the rhyme. So all of a sudden, this is what you can meet. I want you to see every crumb before it drops. I want you to realize that every time it was made with love, it was baked with love, and now all of a sudden you can feel it in your spirit from the one above. Like this is how it feels every time the beat drops. Like I want it fresh out the oven. In other words, I want to hear it when it's in the studio before you put the little drizzle over it. I know. I want it to feel like, oh, this is made to make my soul glow. I need to eat this one slow. See, this is the part that makes people annoyed, but I want it all, from the ones that's homemade to the Chips Ahoy. In other words, from the ones that still learning how to tune in key to the ones that have been paid from the industry. Like I need this to come in many ways to supply many things, because honestly, I'm a little bit hungry and I'm trying to find new ways to eat. I have a thirst for not just knowledge, but more so everything that they can encompass in creativity. Put it all together, pack it in that cookie. Matter of fact, I need it to be packaged in diversity. I need some to have strings and some to be done digitally. Don't AI me. I don't need a fake cookie personally. But I do want things to feel as real as it can be. Some some soft bake, some feel like hard metal. In other words, they crunchy and they a little bit chewy. Oh, yeah. See, this is what makes the perfect version for me. So however you want to digest it, I need an eclectic cookie.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, sir. Again, this has been an amazing conversation. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
Anything you want to say to the people before we get up out of here?
Support musicians. Support local musicians.
Absolutely. Support musicians. Mm-hmm. Support your local and independent artists. That's a fact. As I always like to say, love yourself and everything else will fall into place. I will see y'all next week.
Thank you, sir.
Hey.